If you've made it this far, hang in there because we are almost done. Most of this last page is pretty much just identifying properties or being able to use some definitions that we've used throughout the class in this first unit. So looking at numbers 40 through 45, it says to name the property shown. 5 plus 0 equals 5. There's not really any work that needs to be done, but we know that any number plus 0 is itself an identity property. And in this case, since it's an addition that is taking place, it's going to be the identity property of addition. Problem 41. Well, I see that I have three terms, and I'm dealing with addition and subtraction, so I know I'm going to have an addition property that I'm dealing with. And here we either know the properties or we don't. It's not really much of a guess and check. This is associative property of addition. And one way I like to think of it is by looking inside the parentheses and seeing what number is constant and what has changed. Here, -1 is constant in both parentheses, but 5 has been kicked out, 2 has been brought in. So I like to think in my head, -1 chose to no longer associate with 5. It kicked it out of the party and brought 2 into the party. If that helps you, great. If not, ignore it. Just learn the rules and memorize them and have them so that you're ready for the test. Number 42. I'm dealing with two terms on either sides, and it appears that they both flip. That's a classic commutative property. So basically what we're looking at is A times B equals B times A. And again, how I think of this in my head so that it helps you remember is commute. The distance from my house to school is the same as the distance from school to my house. The commute is the same. It would be commutative property. 43. Any number multiplied times 0 is in fact 0. That was our 0 property, or the multiplicative property of 0. I'm fine with you calling it the 0 property for right now, just because multiplicative is a real tongue twister if you're not used to saying it. Problem number 44. We have to be careful to make sure that this isn't some tricky associative or commutative process taking place. 6 times 4 is 24. That works. 6 times -5 is -30. So what we're actually dealing with is the distributive property. While the distributive property is not as pertinent for this type of a problem, because we could have said 4 minus 5 is -1 times 6 is -6, and that would have given us the same solution. It's just putting numbers into a expression that help you understand the distributive property. The last problem in this section, -8 times 1 equals -8. Again, we're dealing with an identity. Something times 1 is itself. So we have the identity property of, in this case, multiplication is taking place, so the identity property of multiplication. Problem 46 asks for the additive inverse of -7.3. We've dealt a lot with additive inverses and rewriting expressions so that we could say plus something else. And in this case, it would be the additive inverse would be plus 7.3. What is the opposite of -5? Well, the opposite is where its distance is opposite of 0 on the number line. So from -5 to 0 is 5 units. From 0 to 5 then would be 5 units. So our solution would be +5. Add -12 plus -30 using a t-chart. Well, we've already done several examples of using a t-chart in this video set, so this shouldn't be anything new. But we have -12 on the negative side and -30 on the negative side, and we're going to add those up and keep that sign because they're both in the same column. So that would give us -42. So our solution would be -42. Represent the absolute value of negative 5 using a number line. What is the solution? Well, for me, it's easier to figure out the solution first and then number line it so that I don't accidentally number line the wrong number. The solution of negative 5, the absolute value of negative 5, is 5. So I need to graph 5 on the number line. If this is 0, then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Represent absolute value of 5 using a number line. What is the solution? Again, I'm going to do the same thing. The absolute value of 5 is also 5. Put it on a number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, the big key to these type of problems is make sure that you understand what absolute value is. Find your solution first, and then graph it, so that you're not accidentally graphing negative 5 and forgetting about the fact that the absolute value is its positive distance from 0. Hopefully this has helped prepare you for the test. If you have any questions, feel free to come in the morning before the test and the morning of the test, and I will be happy to help answer any questions based on the study guide. Thanks.